home today. No, we're not really at home. We are at some friends' home, some very dear friends.
Excuse me.
Linda,
Here.
thank you very much. Flowers for me. Happy 3rd anniversary, love, Paul. This is our 3rd anniversary for the at-home program, and my dear husband sent me this wonderful arrangements, beautiful, beautiful colors. Thank you so much, Paul. I really, really appreciate that. And you know, it would not be possible without you folks out there. You've made this 3rd anniversary a very special occasion because you've told us how much you enjoyed the program. You're faithful to keep watching, to send for the recipes, tell your friends about it, and to try the recipes. When we do an apron or a cookbook, you're always there to help out. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. So it's not just my 3rd anniversary or At Home's 3rd anniversary, but it's all of our 3rd anniversary. I thank you very much for making this program what it is. Well, today, besides being our 3rd anniversary program, we're going to be cooking on our grill again, and we've already got some things started. We started them before you got here, and we're going to tell you how to prepare a lot of fast, good, delicious main entrees for your guests when you do a cookout the next time. We'll be right back after this important hint to get started with our backyard barbecue. We'll be back. Here's today's at-home hint. If you plan to use leftover marinade as a basting or dipping sauce, boil it first. This will kill any bacteria that might remain from raw food.
If you have an at-home hint, a favorite recipe, or just a friendly greeting you'd like to share, we'd like to hear from you. Post it in the comments of this video or visit our Facebook page.
Well, today we're going to be preparing several different types of meats for the grill. The first one we're going to get started with is pork chops. And as you can see, these are some beautiful, nice center-cut pork chops. And when you do the grill, you need some of the fat. We've trimmed some of it off, but you need some of it to keep it moist, because if you don't, it's really going to be dry when you cook on the grill. So we're going to show you how to do about 4 pork chops that you use a marinade with. And then the other 4, we're going to show you a simple marinade when you don't have the time to take to make a marinade and let them refrigerate and all of that. These are some very quick and easy ways to make delicious pork chops on the grill. First of all, we're going to take, let me see here now. I need something to mix that in. Linda, maybe get me something to mix the marinade in, please. While they're getting that, I'm going to start with some marmalade. This will be the other way to make a delicious pork chops without doing the marinade. And you take, this is just regular sweet orange marmalade. And what you do is you stir it around a bit. And I would suggest you pour some of this into a small container, because you don't want to keep putting your brush back into the jar, because you might not need it all. It's easier to get some more if you need it. But go ahead and just baste this on the pork chops. You know, fruit and pork always are a good combination, always. And you can put these right on the grill. Let me talk to you a little bit about the temperature of the grill and how the cools need to be just right if you're using a charcoal grill. If you're not using a charcoal grill, and this is the new VIP grill that Thermos has just put out, and I'll tell you, we've used it on our 4th of July program, and we're using it today, and it's an excellent grill. Let me tell you, we've had great success. You know, you're always a little apprehensive when it's something new, but this has taken, literally taking the guesswork out of, are the coals right? Is this right? We heated it up. It's got an igniter to it. It's got a nice big grill here, and the grate has a surface on it that the stuff doesn't stick to it. It's got grooves in it, and it's also shaped at the bottom with a V so that all the juices drain off, and it cuts down on the flare-ups, which is a big plus. But this has a low, high, and a medium, and we're going to go ahead and put our pork chops on now. I'm going to put them to the back. We're cooking on low because pork takes a longer amount of time to cook. You don't want to hurry pork. So we're going to put it on low and take our time cooking these, because it's really important to cook pork thoroughly. We've got some vegetable kebabs, as you can see here at the top of our grill. This is a rack that's kind of, if you've cooked it up pretty good, you want to put it up there just to finish cooking or to slow the process, put it on the grill at the top. We've got our vegetable kebabs doing that very well there. So we're going to close this now. I'm going to go ahead and make this marinade for you, and it is 1/3 cup of orange juice, 1/3 cup of soy sauce, a couple of 3 tablespoons of oil, 1, 2, 3. Close measurement always counts. Well, not in this kind of thing, not really. And about 3 tablespoons of ketchup. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. All right. And let's have some honey. This, like I said again, is going to be a marinade for these pork chops. And what you'll do is let this, you put your pork chops in a bowl like I'm doing, and then you cover this in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. Now we've got our honey in there. Now our clove of garlic. Garlic always flavors it so well. And I'm just going to whisk this about. Really, that's all it is. You could flavor, if you want to put some ginger in there, you could, or you could use peanut oil or whatever. But I think you're going to find that this is as a marinade serves very well to flavor. And about 2 hours would be sufficient in the refrigerator for the meat to really pick up the flavor of the marinade. All right? And I'm going to go ahead and give this to the girls to put it in the refrigerator. Linda, about 2 hours on that. Let's take a quick look and see how our pork chops are doing. The marinade there is coming off the pork chops because that's what it's supposed to do. I want you to see that you're going to get that flavor there. See how it's doing? It's going to dry it up somewhat, so we're going to go ahead and baste this side of the chops also with the marinade, because the idea is to keep the surface moist so it doesn't dry out as it's cooking. So we go back with some basting. Ah, yes. You know, kebabs are so easy to do. As you can see these on the top shelf, they're very, very easy to do. As long as you have the right equipment and the right utensils, and that's basically a big part of any job. If you've got the right equipment, most jobs are pretty simple to do. But you have to have the proper tools. And you can see these are the metal skewers. And what I'm going to show you now is something that we're going to do with wooden skewers. And it's real important when you use wooden skewers that you're going to be putting on a fire, you always soak them for at least 30 minutes in cold water, because then they will not flare up and burn while they're on the barbecue. Let me get my, okay, this is the shrimp kebabs that we have put together. You can see I have a lot of them done. One of the neat things, and I'm gonna go ahead and put these on because I want these to be cooking while I show you how I've prepared them. This is so easy to do. And again, it's the eye appeal. You've got to have, the color has got to be pleasant to the eye. You have to look at that and say, boy, does that look good? Doesn't that look good? And when it does, then you think, I want some of that. And it's important for us to remember that to mix the colors. Don't make them all with all pieces of onion and no red or green peppers or nothing like that. You want to really make a variety. And I'm going to put a couple up here so they can get started because I'm running out of room on the grill because I have something else to put there for you. Now let me show you, while these get started to cook, I'm going to show you how to prepare them. First of all, you get jumbo shrimp, and it's important to be absolutely meticulous about the shrimp. They've got to be cleaned, shelled, take the tails off, and devein them. Important to clean that area right in here. It's most important. Then you're going to take a piece of, this is called chunks of pineapple, fresh or the canned, either one can be fine. And you take the skewer, there's a jagged edge on one side and this blunt edge on the other, and you pierce it through on both sides, and you thread it on the skewer. You take your other skewer And you say, why do you need 2 skewers? Because see, when the heat hits it, it'll keep flopping around. And when you go to turn them, they'll keep flopping around. So we put the second skewer through the same way. You're going to see that we have the 2 of them pretty close. Now you're going to thread on, let's thread on a piece of onion. And what this does, this pineapple, between the really curved piece of the shrimp, is keeps the shrimp very, very moist while it's cooking, because it tends to dry out. Shrimp doesn't take long to cook. I think you know that. You can cook shrimp very quickly. Then I would probably thread on a piece of, let's do a piece of green pepper. That comes next. Okay. Now we're going to do a mushroom. What I like to do is, what I start with, I like to back off of it with the same color combination. In other words, if I go onion, green, mushroom, if the mushroom's the center of it, and I put a cherry tomato in there, then I like to make sure that I go back with those same colors with another piece of pepper and another shrimp, whatever. All right, now we're going to do another shrimp. We're going to thread it on, same way, the 2 of them between, pushing it through it, pushing it on. Now, if I'm serving this like over a bed of rice, or if I'm serving this to as like an appetizer stick or something like that, I would only put the 2 shrimp on. If it's part of the main course and you're serving it with rice, I try to put 3 shrimp on. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Not to worry. I mean, you can make a lot of these, so people aren't going to get offended. If they don't get a great big piece, don't worry about it. You'll make a lot. Okay, here's the last one. Again, we'll put our chunk of pineapple in, and we're going to thread it on to our kebab. When they get this big, they're harder to do, but you can do it. Come on, give it a try. This is something different you can make too for, say, if you're just having a nice dinner outside and you've got special friends that are coming over, or just some family members, you want to make something more than hamburgers and hot dogs, this can do it. All right, we're going to take a look at the ones we've already, look how beautiful the grill looks. It's full of all kind of goodies. And we're going to go ahead and put this one up here with some of the other kebabs. I'm going to go ahead and turn my pork chops around. Look how nice they're getting grilled, beautifully. Beautifully done. So you like, what you want to do too, this grills so evenly, nice brown lines from the grill itself. You want that, you want to see that, because that just makes it look that much more appealing. Pork, you want to remember to cook the pork thoroughly. The other thing we're going to add to this meal is I have microwaved some potatoes. These are baked potatoes that are really pretty much done. But in order to get that real baked flavor, like roasted maybe on a grill, I'm going to put these, just sitting them on the grill randomly here and there. And we're going to keep an eye on them, and we're going to turn them as needed, because they don't need to cook that much. They just need to pick up that roasted flavor. And they'll get dry and crunchy, and the skin will get dry and crunchy, and that's what we like. That's the taste that we like. That's what we associate it with roasted, or that roasted flavor. Well, it looks like we got a lot going on this grill today, and I'll tell you, this is a nice large surface because you can cook a lot of things at one time. What we're going to do with the shrimp, and you'll know that the shrimp are ready when they start to get white. It's just like when you cook boiled shrimp or broil it any other way. When the shrimp are getting white, then you know that they're getting pretty much done. Got some time to go on these, so let me show you what else we're going to be putting on the grill, okay?
Do you love watching At Home with Arlene Williams? Then be sure to check out our new YouTube channel. It's filled with classic episodes from over 20 years of At Home, and more videos are added each day. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
Here we have flank steak. Nice piece of flank steak. And the flank is a grainy piece. I don't know if you can see that the grains run very long here. And the key to cooking good tender flank steak is that once it's cooked, you never cut a piece this way because you'll have long, stringy pieces. You must cut across the grain. And that, of course, is cutting this way across the grain. They call this the grain of the meat, the way it goes. So you cut across it, because then what you do with this is you break down the fibers, and that's important to do. So actually we have two pieces here, but the grill is getting so full, I think we're just going to put one piece on. We're going to put it on just like this, just like that. I'm going to crank my heat up a little bit because I have a real load on here. There's a lot of food cooking at one time. And while that starts to heat, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to put this back in the cooler. I'm going to go ahead and make a dressing for this, and this ultimately is called ranch steak. This is very easy because usually, you know, you marinate like we did with the pork chops, but not with this steak. All you do is pour a pack of this, it's the dry ranch mix, ranch dressing mix. We're going to pour that into a container. Try to get it all in there instead of all over the table. It will be all right. And to that, we're going to add a tablespoon of water. Oh, here we go with the measuring again. We'll say a tablespoon of water and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And what this will do is give a flavor to that steak that's a little different. And this, the olive oil and the water mixture with it, is going to help it to flavor the steak, because we're not putting any garlic or anything like that on it. We're just going to baste this over the surface of that meat. And you only grill it for a few minutes on each side. I'll tell you, it's tasty. I believe I'm going to add just a little bit more water to that because that looks just a little thick. There we go. Now this should do about a 2 to 3 pound flank steak. Not tried it on other cuts, but I think that you probably could. If you like that flavor, you could probably do it. What I would serve with this meal, this variety of things, is you could serve a nice tossed salad with your baked potatoes, of course. Have something light and cool, like maybe a nice big ice cold watermelon to give for dessert, because this would be a heavier type meal. You could also grill some slices of bread. And if you grilled some slices of bread, then brush them with some butter. I've got to show you one of the features of this grill I think is unique. It's got this burner that you just turn it on and you can cook a pot of something here, or you could fry up some peppers and onions or whatever. I think that's a great idea. I've not seen one quite like that before. And that's a good idea, that if you had something you wanted to cook along, like maybe your rice, you could do that, to get the heat out of the kitchen and keep it outside where it's cooler. Well, let's see what we're doing here. The chops are coming along beautifully, getting a nice glaze to them. I'm going to go ahead and baste those again, I believe. The potatoes are cooking well. All the vegetables on the top, they're cooking well. The shrimp's doing great. The potatoes are crisping up, and they're getting a nice dark, see what I mean? They're getting that drier, crustier outer skin to them. That's the baked potato look. That's the taste that you really, really enjoy. See, the shrimp are coming along. We're going to give them a little bit more heat because I think that with this much going on the grill that everything's cooking so well. Just keep turning everything. Don't let anything get too comfortable, I guess is the best way. You can see on the vegetable kebabs, I've also put some pieces of corn, and there's some cherry tomatoes. You want to put foods that take about the same length of time to cook together. If you put something that will cook up very quick and it would get mushy, then you'd have something very hard that was not done along with something that was overdone, and that would not be good. Would not make a nice presentation, and it certainly would not taste good. So you want to keep kind of like things together, and that's what we're trying to do here. Once all of the shrimp start really cooking and grilling, then we're going to baste those with a barbecue sauce or a honey Dijon sauce. And I would recommend, this is one of the better ones, and this happens to be a fat-free one. This is honey Dijon, and it's a wonderful basting sauce on anything you put on the grill. It's even good on steaks. And I'm going to check, see how my flank steak's doing here. Tell you, it's going, I can tell. Let me get my good old spatula. There we go. See, you want it to get nice and brown. You're going to turn it over. It looks beautiful. Now we're going to spoon some of this ranch dressing, ranch mixture, on top of that steak. And if you like ranch dressing, then you'll enjoy this. I know it. Remember, too, that anytime you're using a marinade of any kind and you want to keep what's left over and use it as a dipping sauce, it's really, really important that you bring it to the boiling point, because if you don't, there may be bacteria in there. If you boil it, it kills all of it, and then you can use it. So it's really important not to do that. Don't use it if it's been sitting in that and you put it on the grill and say, oh, I'll use that sauce. It's really important for you not to do that. All right, we're going to baste our pork chops one more time. And I'm going to need some more marmalade here. There we go. I like the smell of the orange with the chops. And you have to keep basting some juices into the chops. It's really important to do that because these chops have very little fat. You can see when I put them out, there's very little fat. Okay? The shrimp are getting there. You don't want to cook any of this on a real high heat because it's important for it to cook slower, especially if you're doing a variety of foods. You kind of have to choose a heat that is going to cook all of them about the same time, because if you don't, you're not going to have everything done at one time, and that's what you really want to do that. I would start the vegetables ahead of time like I did for you today. Before you got here, I started the vegetables so that they would be pretty well on the way by the time we were ready to start cooking the other foods. Turn your steak over, and we're going to baste it again with this ranch sauce. Kind of call it a ranch steak, I guess would be the easiest way to call it. Something about being outside. Everybody's like, people are in the pool, some are playing badminton, some are playing volleyball, some are just sitting around snoring and sleeping, saying, boy, I'm glad I got some time to rest. But the important thing is that you're with people that you love and you care about, and that you can enrich their lives and they can enrich yours because of just being with you. It adds something to your life today. I heard a teaching very recently about how that we affect each other's lives every day. We either add to a person's life or we detract from it. And it's really important that we add to people's lives. Don't bring a conflict to it. Don't pull away from it, but let's add to others' lives, all right? We're going to be back to show you the wrap-up of this great cookout in just a minute. Here's an important message on how you can get all of today's recipes. Please stand by.
Just go to ctvn.org/at-home to get all the recipes from today's show for free. That's right, no subscriptions. They're available online at no cost, and more are being added each day. So join us at ctvn.org/at-home to get today's recipes now.
Well, we have finally come to a conclusion with our backyard barbecue because everything is off the grill, it's empty, and it's out here, and I want to go over all the things we've prepared today. Here are our vegetable kebabs, all different kinds of vegetables. You just thread them on the skewers. See the baked potatoes, how roasted looking they get. They get these nice little lines on them because of the grill, and they're crusty. That's the way that they taste, really fresh from the outdoor bonfire or whatever, like when you had when you were a kid. There are pork chops. These are the marinated ones, and these are the ones that had the marmalade on it. Here are our shrimp kebabs on the bed of rice. And don't they look great with just a touch of barbecue sauce on them? We've added nice tossed salads, some fresh fruit, some nice dipping fruit, and we used a pepper to put our dip in for our vegetables. Just something a little different, totally edible. All of this is just light food, something good and refreshing when you're outside in the hot sun. I wish you could see our crew. They've got sunburn. They're slowly shedding their clothing. I mean, not all of it, but now their pants are getting shorter as we go on because they're getting into the shorts now. Can't wait for the program to be finished so they can get into the pool. But we're glad that we could be here with you. Let me show you the delicious ranch steak. Now remember, this is a flank steak, and you're going to cut across the grain. And it's really important to cut into thin slices across the grain. As you can see, it's still juicy. See the juice coming out of that? It's still very delicious, and it's important to cut thin slices because that's going to keep it, see, it didn't get too well done, didn't get dry. It's very moist. You can see it here on the board. It's still very moist and delicious. All of these are good accompaniments for a dinner that's a cookout for a special evening, just you and your husband, or maybe it's the whole family. Why not give it a shot? And again, I'd like to thank my very good friends and my pastors, Al and Linda Rowan, for allowing us to come to their home and allowing us to tape these great programs so that you could get an idea of what kind of things to do for special occasions when you're doing a barbecue. We really appreciate them. I thank the crew. Everybody did a great job. Most of all, I thank you for watching each week because this program would not be the same if you weren't there. And we appreciate your comments, your letters, your recipes, and I'm very thankful that you're always there for us. So be sure to join us the next time, because you know why? I say it all the time, but I really, really mean it. It just would not be the same without you right here at home. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Fresh produce provided by Jordan Banana, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Dravosburg, PA. Cookware provided by Woolies. Your favorite gourmet deserves the best for less from Woolly Balcony Cookware. Groceries provided by Foodland, where the answer is always yes.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.